Welcome to DHS Boot Camp, week number, whatever it is. Today, we are going to talk about daily activities, and I'm going to share my screen here. Okay. All right, so daily activities. We've been cited on this a couple times at a few places because the daily activities were not posted. And so the first thing in this regulation, it says that a written plan has to be provided and included a time for free play. So they also have to be flexible enough. So depending on the kids in your program, what their interests are, you have to be flexible enough to adapt your plan. Okay. Now, this refers to a very generic plan, very high level plan, not a specific plan. So this plan has to be posted in every space. So what a sample of what this plan looks like is right here. It could look like this. It could look like a grid. I know many of you have like a grid where you put the times in and what happens at what time. It's very high level, and this is totally acceptable to DHS. Okay. Any questions so far? But I do want to point out, if you're in the gym, if you're in the cafeteria, if you're in a classroom, it has to be posted in every space. Okay. All right, back to the regulation. The last section, the last bullet point in this regulation is that daily activities have to promote the development of skills, social competence, and self-esteem. It has to, these experiences have to recognize the child as an individual and the choice of activities that has to respect the personal privacy, lifestyle, and cultural background. Now, to be honest with you, if you look at your overall high-level activity plan, daily activity, it's not really doing any of that, right? So in line with this regulation, as well as Keystone Stars, we created a lesson plan template that you can use to incorporate these aspects, personal privacy, lifestyle, culture, background, as well as touch on another regulation, which I'm going to touch on next week, about what kinds of activities you have to provide. The beauty of this, it's all in line with Keystone Stars. And so I know most of you are at star 1 or 2, right? If I'm not mistaken. And so at that point with Keystone Stars, you're not really getting into the detail of a lesson plan, but it's a good idea to get started because I know Jess and I have talked and we do want to progress through Keystone Stars. Is that still the case, Jess?
We will see. The more we look into it, it might, some sites having it too might make more sense.
Right. The beauty of this lesson plan is that you really get to add quality to your program. So I'm going to show you this lesson plan. It has the early learning standards incorporated into it. Don't get scared. Okay. When you're involved in Keystone Stars, you'll learn more about it. But again, it also addresses another regulation, like I stated earlier, that it'll address another part of the regulation for DHS. So here's what that lesson plan looks like. Okay. It's just a weekly activity schedule for all 5 days. It has the homework support, which we really are promoting. It has enrichment activities, which you are doing actually, but this put some intentionality into your plan. Okay. But it does break down each day into these various components, which, believe it or not, all of you are pretty much doing it anyway. Some sites have centers, like I think about Montour, and they have each table is a different quote unquote center. And each center has a different activity involved, meeting those individual needs of those children. So down below, it does have the standards. Like I said, don't get scared. they don't make any sense to you, but these are, I think there's 9 or 10 of them, right? 10 standards. And it has the actual standard number. Keystone Stars likes to see that. So, but we will learn more about that later on. And then it gives you the ability to add your activity descriptions and, hey, did this activity work or not work? And we're not going to do it again because the kids didn't like it. Or, hey, the kids really like this. Maybe we can tweak it a little bit to meet their needs. So I'm going to show you where this lesson plan, this activity plan lives. Okay. So on our shared drive, we go to shared drive and we scroll all the way down to youth enrichment drive. And we go to program forms and then enrichment. And that lesson plan lives right here. There it is. Okay. And there we have it. Any questions, comments, thoughts? Is this helpful? Not helpful?
Yeah.
Any questions or anything that, I'm sorry, Alexis?
I said, I think it's helpful. Thank you.
I am going to turn off the record button.